Take. It is Friday. I am Shea Cornett, Stephen A. Smith, Ryan Clark, Dan Orlowski are with us from Pittsburgh. Stephen A. is in D.C. Good morning, fellas. How are you?
Hold it. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to the American people. I'm here in the nation's capital. Let me take a moment to my man, Dan Orlowski and RC. Very, very busy evenings. I saw the work that you all have done. I must say, you guys were wonderful. I approved that message. You were fantastic. You made me proud yesterday. You made me proud.
Thank you so much. Do you approve it like you approve the message for Car Shield as well, or no? I'm just wondering.
Well, I approved the message for Car Shield even more because they pay me a little extra than y'all do. But that's all right.
Okay, perfect. I love that for all of us.
We don't pay you nothing, but Car Shield, we could do a better job than he did.
Let's get into last night. Let's talk about why they were working so hard. The NFL draft, of course, was last night in Pittsburgh. As always, you know, round one has got a surprise or two in store. And it came at pick 13 when the LA Rams selected Ty Simpson, quarterback out of Alabama. Sean McVay say they did inform the MVP, Matt Stafford, of their intent to select Simpson earlier in the day. And you know Dan Orlowski, he's been high on Ty Simpson. Here he was taking his victory lap last night.
The 13th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Ty Simpson, quarterback, Alabama.
Whoa. Let's have a time.
Hey.
Good for you, Dano. Good for you, Dano. Good for you,
It's my guy right there.
Thanks, man.
That's a reach.
Thanks,
but,
man.
Congrats.
Hey, it was a pleasure doing business with you, bud.
It's great.
It's a pleasure.
Congrats, man.
Hey, listen to these people.
Take a bow.
Not the crowd chanting Dan O behind you. Is that what was happening there? Okay. I know you were really high on his film. Do you
Once
like
in a lifetime
this pick?
moment.
Do you like this pick by the Rams, Dan? You were calling it the whole time. How you feeling today?
Yeah. I love the pick by the Rams. That's not once in a lifetime moment, Stephen A. Okay, like let's calm down. Let's relax with.
For you, it is.
I think it's good business by the
go
Rams.
ahead.
No, it's not. No, it's not, Stephen A. No, it's not. No, it's not.
All right, Elvis.
Every time I walk in
All
my
right,
house,
Elvis.
in high school,
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah.
Keep going.
It's good business by the Rams. It's good business by the Rams, okay? Good organizations are always living in the now and the future. And if we look at the quarterback spot, more often than not, the organizations that are drafting that position when they want to rather than they need to, long-term win out. If you think back to when the Ravens took Lamar Jackson, they had Joe Flacco. If you think of when the Green Bay Packers took Jordan Love, they had Aaron Rodgers. If you think of when the Kansas City Chiefs took Patrick Mahomes, they had Alex Smith. I think this young man's a really good player. I understand the 15 starts, but those 15 starts on tape, 10 of them are unbelievable before he gets hurt. And I thought it was the best tape in this year's class. He gets to go to a place that organizationally, top to bottom, well run. He gets to go to a coach that is as good as anybody in football, and he learns behind a future first ballot Hall of Famer. So this isn't about the now for them. This is about the future, and this is what well-run organizations do.
Go ahead, Bri.
Yeah, I think the confusing part for me is Les Snead, Sean McVay, and the Los Angeles Rams have been the prime example of make moves to win now and have those things work out. And now all of a sudden they make the ultimate wait and see, maybe he will be extremely good quarterback move. And now I agree with Dan. You don't want to be drafting this position when you need to. But you mentioned Lamar Jackson, transcendent talent. You mentioned Patrick Mahomes, transcendent talent. This follows along with what Green Bay has done with both Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love when Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers were the quarterback. And so I get that. This is a team where Sean McVay was visibly emotional after losing to the Seattle Seahawks, Matthew Stafford, Devontae Adams, he mentioned those veterans. This is a team that went out in the offseason and went out and got a corner, Trent McDuffie, and gave up picks, right? And then you go get Jalen as well because you feel like you were plays away from winning on the defensive side of the ball. And then with the first round pick, when you can add another player to help you go win a Super Bowl, right now you pick the quarterback of the future at 13. All of those other quarterbacks that was mentioned by Dan Orlovsky were all drafted very late in the first round because there was no competition for them outside of Patrick Mahomes, who was a top 10 pick. And so to me, if you're going to draft Ty Simpson, maybe you move back a little bit and acquire more opportunities to get picks in this draft because this team is prepared to win now. And this pick in particular, especially when Sean McVay says he's going to compete with Stetson Bennett, does not allow you to do that.
Dan, I see you want to respond.
Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead, Dan. I'll let Dan go first.
Yeah,
go ahead,
I think the Rams flirted with trying to get A.J. Brown this year. Okay, so they're very aware, RC, to your point, like, hey, let's go win him. I think a lot of people would argue they were the best team in football last year. They just lost both important games to the Seattle Seahawks. There wasn't a big gap, okay? So try to get A.J. Brown. Let's see what they do tonight. If you walk away from Friday afternoon in this draft and you have Trent McDuffie, to your point, with their own pick, the luxury pick in many ways from the Falcons, that is Ty Simpson, and you draft a receiver tonight that's a difference maker, Deion Burks or Stribling out of Ole Miss, then you're going, okay, because then it's the ideal of we've got the now people in McDuffie and that receiver, and we've got the future at quarterback.
Stephen A.
Well, here's where I was thinking, guys, and it was piggybacking off of some of the things that we talked about throughout the season. We have to remember that coming in the last season, there were question marks about Matthew Stafford's health and whether or not this would be his last year, primarily because of that back issue. That's something that we all lamented about. I remember we were talking about it at the beginning of the season, and we were wondering what kind of success the Rams were going to have because everything was contingent on the health of Matthew Stafford. Now, it turns out he played all 17 games, plus the 3 playoff games, threw for 4,707 yards, 46 touchdowns, had an MVP year. He was absolutely sensational, as far as I'm concerned, cementing himself as arguably one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the history of football. So we know the greatness that is there. But the question was, if you're the Los Angeles Rams, where were you going to go if Matthew Stafford wasn't there? You're going to go with Stetson Bennett IV? Is that where you were going to go? That's not going to cut the mustard. And so you have to look towards the future, knowing that Matthew Stafford is coming back, knowing that the Super Bowl is going to be at SoFi next year, knowing how motivated the Rams are because they believe that they could have easily won the Super Bowl championship as well. There was really one team standing in their way because I think we all believe they would have beaten the New England Patriots if they were the ones that were in the Super Bowl. They would have beaten anybody. They just happened to run into the Seattle Seahawks, and obviously it was a thriller in both games that they played, particularly the last 2 games they played against one another. So I'm looking at it from the standpoint, Ty Simpson, with all the question marks that they had, there was still a lot of potential because of how he looked the first part of the season over an 8-game stretch when he had completed about 72% of his pass, had 19 touchdowns, just 1 interception, and then he struggled over that 6-game stretch, particularly in the SEC championship game and then in the playoffs against Indiana. But we were talking about receivers dropping the ball. We were talking about run blocking ability, pass blocking ability. We were talking about running game that was non-existent and Alabama not looking like Alabama. So you're looking at him with a strong arm, with a high football IQ. You're anticipating what he can bring to the table. And then you're saying to yourself, wait a minute, the opportunity to learn under Matthew Stafford plus Sean McVay, if you put him in if you're a quarterback with any kind of potential, what kind of a better situation can you